Five, four, three, two, one.
Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Jeremy Persaud, and right now I'm sitting down doing a portfolio project in the radio room at Centennial College Story Arts Center, and I'm sitting down with somebody that I've known for the past 3 years. He's a friend of mine. He's an artist that I work with and collaborate with, and I'm a big fan of his music as well. And right now I'd just like to introduce to everybody my boy Calvin Moon.
What's up, man? I love hearing my own name through other people's mouths.
Well, you're going to hear a lot of your name soon because, man, I see you doing your thing, and big ups to you. I'm glad to have you here sitting down talking with me. I've known you for almost 3 years now. We've been in the same program here at Centennial.
Yeah.
And so pretty much for those people that don't know you, let's start it off like this. So we want to get to know you a little bit more in depth, and get to know who Calvin Moon really is. So the first question I have for you is, who is Calvin Moon, and how would you describe your style?
Okay, who is Calvin Moon? Calvin Moon is a guy that doesn't really live within the borders of what you would call a musician, because I don't see myself as only a musician. I see myself as an artist, and an artist that loves to teach, in a sense of I would love to teach others my stories and how to believe in themselves through my own ambition, So I do multiple things other than music. I do fashion, I do filmmaking, and all those things co-align with music. And even when you dive into filmmaking, no one just says, oh, I do filmmaking. You have to say specifically what you do in filmmaking. So within filmmaking, there's multiple things that I do as well. I do directing, costume design, and then when you get into fashion, well, fashion sort of co-aligns with costume design, but it is sort of has its own sense. And what I do essentially is just take all those attributes, and that will help me have a better understanding of my whole artistry as a whole, So when I go on stage for my music, I go on stage with the clothes that I make. I go on stage and I get camera people so I can edit it and put it together well and tell my story through a phone. But when you're on when you're actually in the crowd, you would see the story on stage as a live performer that I which I am as well. So it's just all those things co-align to each other. So that's essentially who Calvin Moon is. And so when you say, how would I describe my style? Sure, you on a base level, you could say, oh, he's this loud, brash guy that's super crazy and wacky. But it's also just I have different levels to me, essentially. And I have parts of me that I haven't even explored yet that I can't wait to explore. But essentially, yeah, that's who I am. Is that a good enough answer?
Yeah, that's a great answer. In terms of your age, how old are you right now?
I'm 20 years old, dude.
So do you think your music appeals to more of a younger crowd, or does it apply to everyone?
Honestly, I wouldn't want to say, oh, yo, I'm here for the youngins. I'm here. I love young people, but it's also just I love people. It's I don't want to say, oh, we're only for the young kids, and as soon as they get old, we're just going to forget about you. I want my music to live on throughout that. So essentially, I would say, yeah, young people tend to gravitate to my music more, but that doesn't say that I don't have any old fans or no old people listen to my music, because essentially, if you truly love the art of music, then you should appreciate what I have to offer. You know what I mean? Is that another good answer? I'm just making sure.
No, that's a great answer.
Great answer. Okay.
Yeah.
A plus.
So,
A plus.
So Calvin, what's your ethnic background?
My ethnic black. My ethnic black background. I'm black.
You're black?
I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Jamaican. Yeah, but yeah.
So does that Jamaican influence your music at all, or
that that's another thing I want to talk about, because it's I have that side that I haven't explored yet, because first when I dived into music, I didn't dive in it because of my background or anything that's holding me down physically. It's what's inside of me that went out, Yeah. So when it gets to my music, it's truly my energy. So now that I got to that point in my life where I can have the facilities and the ways to make the music, I want to try and expand onto things that will co-align with my ethnic background, you know? Like, you might hear me on, like, I wouldn't say, the thing is, like, I don't do, like, even though I say, oh, I love everything right now in this current day, I would never do R&B. So, and that's sort of what my background is sort of, like, co-aligns with. But I would love to have the style of like a reggaeton track on like something that's more hype and uppity, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I just like everything. But
yeah. But yeah, I definitely think that's what separates you from other artists is that your liveliness and your ability to like get the crowd going. Like I think that's what makes you special. Would you agree? Like that's what makes you special. And like how about like you didn't grow up in Jamaica, right? You're Canadian, right?
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
So, like, where did you grow up?
I literally grew up in a town called Meadowville in Mississauga. But I feel like just saying that, there's like, see, there's like, when you get to Canada, there's just so much underdeveloped, like, parts and, like, parts of the city and the town and the, like, province, essentially. Like, we don't have, like, anything that defines us. And that's also because there's so much of us. There's so much different, like, there's so much different people within Canada.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get to, like, a point where it's like, oh, I'm Canadian. What does that mean? I'm a Canadian that came from another place, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like we could use that aspect of having so much different ethnic backgrounds and then put that together and make that our background, make that our style, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm from Meadowville, Mississauga, and it's like
represent.
Yeah, I don't even want to say represent. That part of the city didn't really do anything for me. But if I'm being honest, I don't really like, except for like obviously school and going to school there, and obviously my friends, family, all that there, I love. But like when you get down to like the city event or like the city vibe, what did Mississauga do for me? I would love for Mississauga to be that place that I can call back on, and I'm still working on making it that. But I can't sit here and be like, yeah, Mississauga represent. Nah, Toronto has done miles ahead more for me than Mississauga done, you know, which sucks too. But it's also like it's Mississauga's fault.
But it's kind of fair to say that Toronto and Mississauga, they're all like kind of like one big greater Toronto city. Like if you look at it like that, no?
As soon as I
kind of look at it like that, like,
dude,
it's not, we shouldn't separate ourselves, define ourselves by border lines and whatever, you know?
Yeah, it's not, I'm not the one that's dividing, it's Mississauga that's dividing. Like if you really look at what Mississauga focuses on, it focuses on the house owners, and who owns house? Old people. So it's like, I wouldn't even say old people, but just like people of like that have a certain amount of money, right, and a certain amount of like taste for things. So if they're dictating what type of art our community and our city is getting, then of course we're just gonna get a bunch of country songs, singing songs. I'm just singing, and then like some little like girl groups and stuff. And it's like I've seen the Mississauga scene. I've seen what people do in the Mississauga scene, and essentially what I've got out of that is literally just friends patting themselves on the back, because it's just not interesting. You can't dive into it, you know? There's nothing that's gravitating me toward the Mississauga scene. And like in my head, it just sounds gross, you know? That's why I feel more for the Toronto scene, because as soon as I go to Toronto, literally everybody and their mama knows what the hell to do. Like everybody and their mama like is doing something related to art, film, and stuff like that, and it all bounces off of each other. And they're like, their standards are lower, but in a good sense, where it's like they're more open to things, you know. And like literally even people that I know in Toronto, they're not even from Toronto, but they can express themselves better in Toronto. You know? So it's like I'm grateful for Toronto. As for Mississauga, there's more of like there's favoritism, you know? And it's like seeing just like what like that side is producing, it's just like I'm not really into it, you know?
Okay, well, yo, shout out to Saga. There's a lot of people from Saga that are doing it on a level too. You know, it's just about your awareness and who you tapped in with.
Yeah.
But you know, we ain't trying to offend no Saga people. Don't come for us. You know what I mean?
I just made a bunch of ops right there.
Yeah, hey, man. But
Whoops, I'm just
at the end of
speaking
the
my
day,
mind,
like
you know?
I feel you on that. Like Toronto's the big city, it's the major hub. So
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta travel to like where it's more hot to get your stuff off. You know. So like I want to just stay a little bit on you growing up for like one little second.
Yeah.
Like when you're growing up in Mississauga,
Why do you say it like that?
and with the Jamaican background and stuff,
Yeah.
like, so who were your like musical influences, and were you influenced like by any of the reggae songs? Were you influenced by anything around you as a kid growing up? What was your favorite song like as a kid? I know I'm a good interviewer. I ask the tough questions.
Nah, it's like, see, the people at home that are watching this are gonna be like, "Oh, what is he afraid of?" There's really just dudes that I know that are gonna just laugh at me for
Hey,
what.
man.
But anyway,
Be yourself, man. Express
yeah, okay.
yourself, man.
Okay, well, growing up, my favorite songs came from Katy Perry,
Mhm.
and I really liked her.
Big up to her. She's
Yeah,
great.
you know, like as a child, I just liked everything. I didn't really care why I liked it. I just liked it. So I listened to a lot of Katy Perry. Last Friday night, at the tabletop. Like, dude, that was my jam back then.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, just like I liked a lot of Katy Perry, and I also listened to like a lot of like I don't know. I think death metal, because like I literally, like, growing up, Much Music had the music videos on, and like they had this one death metal music video, and I was just like, I just loved it. And the thing like that I would love to touch upon is like I can't even name the song or who the artist is, but it's just the vibe.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like that's growing up, I never really attached myself to an artist as more as I attached myself to the actual like aesthetic and song. So when I'm looking back, I wish that I at least knew their names,
Yeah.
because then it would make it way more easier to answer. But yeah, just like all the stuff back then is like mostly just I like the vibe of things. So I just had a catalog of different music and stuff, and like I would like get my music from things like like just random TV shows. I knew I loved listening to music from like wrestling and stuff like that. I would love
Yeah.
because that's what music did for me. It put me into like a different space, a headspace, and
Yeah.
which essentially just elevated me in where I was, you know. And without music, I don't know where I would be. But like, yeah, just like I love music, but like it took me a minute to realize that I like music was my backbone back then. I like opposed from like I just had it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but yeah.
Definitely. Like I can hear the death metal references in your music, definitely. And I guess like that's kind of like you're not the generic guy that's just just recreating what you hear. You're kind of like innovative with your music. You're creating a moment. When I seen you performing, you got the whole crowd in like a mosh pit. You got the whole place going crazy. So I wanted to ask you like so like with the show game and stuff right now, like how do you see yourself, like how did this start? Like how did you gain this traction? Like, or like what's the difference between like your first show and like the traction that's picked up now?
Dude, like the thing that I just know about me is that like being it took me a minute to realize that just being myself, like wholeheartedly, and trusting my own ideas and my gut feeling is truly why I'm in the position that I'm in now. Literally, I remember my first show, everybody was telling me, "Oh, why are you wearing I forgot the name. What's it called? Those pants thingies?"
Oh, the cover
overalls. Yeah. Oh, why are you wearing overalls? Why are you wearing face paint? Why you this? Why that? And I'm like, because I just wanted to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that doing that put me on a different state than everybody else, because everybody else was just wearing clothes, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that because I really wanted to like put that side out there, you know, because like I am a fashion designer. So when I look at clothes, I look at them as pieces, and I look at them as stories to tell throughout the show, you know. So the clothes that I wear will help people immerse themselves within the show, and I feel like doing that is just cool. It's just super dope, super cool. So yeah, just like that, it's that one moment that I realized that I'll just do this for every show and then see what happens. And it got to a point where I just stick out. It's like it's hard to not know. Oh, who's that guy in the overalls? Who's that guy with the fling his hands around and stuff like that? And I just love to bring people into that energy, like either on stage or in the crowd, you know, because it's just like it's just fun. Let's have fun. That's what I like the most, you know. And sure, it can get tiring because like I do have other stuff, but it's like I just like it's a fun thing to do. You know? It's just really fun. Yeah.
Well, like I heard you talk about being a fashion designer and doing other stuff. So do you want to elaborate on the other stuff? Like what are Calvin's Moon's other talents?
Well, fashion designing wise, I made this logo shirt.
Yeah, get the camera on that. Yeah.
You get that. Yeah. So basically,
wait, hold it up. Let the camera see it properly. You a little higher. Pull it down.
Flash it.
Yeah. Pull the bottom. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, great. So you made that?
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about it, man. Let's hear about your fashion design.
So
skills.
that happened. Like my love for fashion happened throughout high school.
Yeah.
And like, again, it just came from me just trusting my own ideas and my own gut feeling. And what happened was a teacher caught eye of that, and like. Within class even, I was never the guy that wanted to do exactly what the rubric does. I never really read the rubric. I usually just heard what the teacher said, especially in art class, and I just did it, you know? So it's like stepping into that side, I realized that like I just like fashion is just something that's just like fun to me and possible. You know, I don't know everything about fashion. I don't know how to sew yet. But, like, when it comes to screen printing and printing in general, like, I can print different designs. And also, I edit and make the designs. Like, I draw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, it's like that side is just, like, is just something that's just so lively. Because if I can feel it, if I can see myself wearing it, it just adds another level into my artistry. That puts me into the mindset that I need to be at a show, to be recording music, to just be seen, to be in music videos, all that, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. That's great that you could collaborate and like you know, like intertwine all your talents in together just like that. So you said you figured that out in high school, and then like, so you discovered you had all these talents and you wanted to blossom into this beautiful being that you are now. But like, so how did you transition like from that high school to college? Like, what were your thoughts like going into that? I wanted to pick the Centennial Broadcasting program.
Basically just went out like, I can finally do what I want. That's it. Like literally like high school, there's so much that's
was this like your first choice? Like, did you know that you wanted to like?
I didn't really want to go to school to begin with.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go to film school after that because I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do something. Why not? So I do film school. You know, because like at first I was just like, I don't even know why I didn't want to go to school. Mostly because I just didn't like the idea of doing more of this.
Yeah, some people just don't like know. It's like kind of scary. Like, what am I gonna do after high school? I don't want to do something I don't like. Because
it's like I knew what I wanted to do, like as a job and everything, like be a film director, all that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go back into the system of marks and stuff like that. It just hurts my head, you know. So first option was Toronto Film School, and I realized that that's super expensive. So then I remember I was literally just choosing any school. And then I remembered watching this show called Community, right? And then I was like, wow, this show's great. and like the school is so cool and fun, you know, because they're in a community college. So then I searched up Toronto community colleges, and then Centennial popped up, and I looked at, oh, does it have a film program? And then I just hopped in the film program.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just one of those things, and I sort of feel it in this school where it's like I'm more free and open to the real world experience, and then instead of like the outside school, like the post secondary lifestyle where like you have to throw your money away into God knows what and barely be taught anything with a bunch of other students. Like I love that our classes like are smaller, you know, because like we actually get to know each other. Do you know there's so much people that don't like? I know so much friends that don't even like leave college with any friends or anything like that.
I know.
With any like actual like friends or anything like that.
Any skills.
Exactly. And I'm like, damn, what is this? What is this system that we're in, and why is it so high, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm in Centennial, I don't feel that. I actually feel like the people, like the professors and everybody actually know who I am and what I'm doing. Yeah. And I love that feeling because it's like, okay, you know what I'm doing. Now it's your job as a teacher to either help me like to understand what I like, where to focus my energy to, or even help me elevate what I already got going on, you know? And it's like, that's the fundamentals of education that I didn't really get until like the last bit of high school, where like teachers were just saying, okay, yeah, just let this kid do whatever he wants. Like, at least he's doing something, you know? Yeah. So they were giving me like I remember a teacher gave me like my first screen printer to actually make T-shirts and stuff. So it was just like that. But like when getting into college, I feel it now essentially, where it's just like I'm just sticking out, but by just doing what I want to do. You know? So
do you feel like now after your years in the program and stuff like that, do you feel like it's helped your music career? Like has it helped your artistry? Yeah. To like improve? It has improved over the years, right?
1,000 times, because like it's like so much art. That the thing about like the reason why I want to say I'm an artist is because literally, I'm not just like my talents doesn't only dive into music, you know? Because if it was only music, I wouldn't know lick about film or fashion. Because I know so much music art, like musicians that just don't know anything about film or fashion, you know? Which is like, in my head, is just so sad, because it's like, that means you just got to go out there and pay for somebody to do that for you, if you don't want to, if you don't have the ambition to figure out what like would work for you in those aspects, you know? So it's like, I have the knowledge to do that. And like, if you know me, you know that I'm the type of guy that doesn't like to give you fish. I like to teach you how to fish yourself, you know? Yeah. So it's like, because it's like, essentially, I would like people to feel how I'm feeling, you know? I would like, it's like, knowledge is power. Because like now that I have the knowledge of all these things, I can essentially just like work around everything, and then it helps me with money, and it helps me with like actually doing things the right way. Because you know how much people have to pay for things, and then they don't get it made the right way, and then they're just like,
now you can make it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Now I can make it myself. I have or I can
have a team.
Yeah, exactly. Or I have a team, or I just know how to say it better, or know what to specifically get, you know? Yeah. So yeah.
So all right, so we kind of got the history. We got coming up to school. Yeah. So like, what are you working on currently right now? Like,
I have a 5-track EP that right now I just want to get it through, because I know the music is there, the look. I want to lean back a little bit from visuals just to give the music more, you know? Yeah. So like, I just want to get that cover art done and maybe a little video, but like that is mainly because I don't know. I just feel like it's just something that people aren't expecting. People not expecting this guy to drop a fire album and then right after that drop a 5-track EP. But it's like, I'm just that type of guy, you know? What can I say?
Yeah. So for the people that never heard like your music ever before in their life or whatever that's listening right now, like, how do you describe? Like, I know you described your music before, but like your new tape, like, do you have a new approach to it? Or
that definitely. I feel like, cause like before, I knew people in the hip hop community. They were like, "Oh yeah, you're hip hop, you're rapping, but you're not like hip hop." You know, and I'm like,
what do you mean by that?
like they're like, oh, you're not like, because like I have a lot of electric guitars and stuff in it, and like in the way that I'm, like the way my delivery is more screaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They put me in more of like a screamo type of vibe,
Like
but
a rock and roll kind of.
yeah, but it's like I could rap, I could do hip hop beats, I can like have like something that's like really like heavy hip hop, you know, and do that to the best of ability, and I feel like that's what I made essentially, you know. And it's like making that, I didn't even think about making that. I just thought, oh, I'm gonna just make an EP and then see what the sound is giving me.
Yeah.
And my producer and I worked together, and then we just came across all the 5 tracks that we have, and then I made the story off of that. But I feel like when making music in general, it's just that thing that like I make the music, then I find the story after. And that's only because the music's already in me. I just need the best beat and the best production to project that story, you know? And shout out to Jeremy, man. He just dropped a project, Pain, you know?
Yeah, shout out your producer too, man.
Yeah, shout out Drip Kid Dre.
Mm-hmm.
You already know Drip Kid Dre. Honestly, I think Drip Kid Dre is like the best, like literally, he's on levels with like Kendrick Lamar level of production. Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, that level of production.
Yeah.
Like all the bigger names, Drip Kid Dre is like right next to them. If you really like hear his beats and his progression, like literally you can't sit there and be like, no, but you know, Kendrick would have put this beat in that. No, literally it's a set, like if Kendrick hit up Drip Kid Dre, he would like make a fire beat for him, you know?
Yeah, shout out Drip Kid Dre, man.
Yeah, shout out.
Any features on the new tape at all? Anybody you're working with right now?
Well, I'm essentially my plan is to have, well, like other than Drip Kid Dre that's featured on it for one track, my plan is to have all the tracks just be with me, because I want to prove the point that I can do hip hop, you know, like that hip hop, you know.
Do you feel like you have to prove that though?
It's just a thing that I feel like people don't know. I know I could do it, but I feel like people don't know that I could do it. So it's like I'm gonna do it, so then people can just be like, oh, you could do this hip hop stuff, and I feel like it's really gonna trip people up because it's like so different from everything else, you know. So it's like how some people are like, how do you even have the range to do that? But it's like, because I just listen to everything, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have a record label at all or anything?
Nah, not really. Like, oh yeah, I do. I like, I don't have a record label, but I'm signed to a friend's record label, Blue Boy Records.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just do fun stuff like that.
That's tough. So yeah, man. So that's what you're working on now. I can't wait to hear your album, your new stuff. I can't wait to see your next performance. I mean, personally, I'm a big fan. I'm your friend, but I'm a fan too. I seen you rocking the shows, rocking the stages. You got everybody lit. I listen to your music. I feel like it's a cross between the hip hop and a little bit of rock and roll there. But I mean, like, I feel like there's space for everyone to do whatever they want. Like, I feel like you don't need to be defined by hip hop or rock and roll. I feel like the way the world is right now, more like an inclusive place or whatever, you could just kind of be yourself, and you know, I want you to feel free to do so. And you know, I can't wait to hear what you got coming out. And yeah, so like, besides that, like, what are your like future goals with this music thing, and like, where do you see yourself in like the next couple of years?
Touring in Europe.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah.
big, man. You want to talk about it, or just kind of like keep it on the hush until?
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
I see myself touring in Europe. I see myself. Oh, what do I see myself? I see myself making more money. That's what I want to do. Like, it's like, yeah, I love art and stuff, but like, damn, I need some money too, you know. Like, I need to get paid. Because like that's the thing I feel like people don't understand. It's like, I want to do this forever. So the best way to do this forever is to have society's way of living checked out already, you know. So it's like, when I get that money part down, then I'm good. And I'm already making more money from music than I am at my part-time job.
Wow,
which is
nice.
Which is already an accomplishment on its own, but I want to keep holding that forward and pushing that into the atmosphere in the world and manifesting that I'll be a billionaire.
Yeah.
But first I want to be a millionaire. And I want to be super famous. I want to go to the Black Panther red carpet. I want to go to the MTV Awards.
Yeah.
I want to have my time to shine. And when I do that, I can say this right now. When I'm up there with fame and stuff, I'm gonna leave the door open. I'm gonna just have people come to me. If you want to come to me for music or anything like that or anything creative, then I'll be there. And if you got your chops right, then I'll do what I do, because I genuinely enjoy that. I already do that now.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Exactly. So it's like I'm gonna just keep doing it, because I feel like that is what I like. That right there, just like it warms my heart, because it's like making your own community. Because like that's what Canada needs essentially, anyways.
Yes.
It needs people to put on each other instead of just like paying their way in, like Drake.
Or just trying to be their own entity.
Exactly, like Drake. Like Drake's a cool guy and all, but like who is he putting on? He's not putting on Toronto. He's putting on like gang members. Yeah. Sorry, but he's like literally he's not putting on nobody who like is going to help. Like he's not paying it forward. He's literally just
he's chasing the clout,
Exactly. He's just circling, and I'm like, dude,
at this point we're not dependent on Drake for anything.
Which is messed up, because he has all literally he's Canadian, and people like have like all he's more famous than like most American artists, and he's Canadian.
Yeah.
So why can't he just like do the simple thing of just actually diving into artists who aren't who aren't going to like null the community from all this hate and violence and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't Drake look at the more like artistic side of music? God forbid, and instead of feeding all this other crap.
Well, the good thing is now, like, you could be independent. There's no need for these gatekeepers or whatever. Calvin Moon's here, kicking down doors, making his way into the industry, and the world better be ready for him because he's coming, and he has this energy. Like, honestly, I was going to wrap it up, but, like, I have to talk about this. Like, honestly, you're, like, such a laid-back guy, and when you're on stage, you're like a whole nother different person, bro.
Yeah, and that's the world that the music makes for me, Like, that's that world of music where it's like I have to represent the energy that I put into the music on stage. Because, like, I know so much artists that have fire music, but when they're on stage, they're like, yeah. It's like, dude, you gotta fucking, you gotta put yourself out there,
Yeah.
You gotta go out there and you gotta make your point, make your statement on why people should be listening to your music,
Yeah.
And it's like, have fun with it. Why is your music your music? Your music isn't your music so you can wear regular clothes. Your music is your music because you have to be it, So be exactly what your music is describing. And people come to me all the time about, oh, but I don't have that much money. Dude, guess where this sweater is from?
Where, H&M?
No, the dollar store, dude. Literally the dollar store. Guess where this shirt's from?
You made it.
I made it. I made the design, and the actual shirt is from the dollar store.
Wow.
Guess where this belt buckle is from?
I don't know.
Dude, it's
thrift
from
store.
eBay. Oh, wait.
eBay?
Yeah, eBay. Guess where the actual snake belt is from?
A snake.
No.
I'm going to guess Amazon.
No.
Byway.
No.
Walmart.
Goodwill. Literally.
Shout out to Goodwill.
Guess where these pants are from?
Where?
I don't know. I literally just walked into my closet and looked at the pants that one of my parents bought me like how many years ago and said, oh, these are a nice fit. I'm gonna wear them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's not a money thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just a passion thing. Just go out there and make your own style. You can't buy style. No matter how much you try, you cannot buy style.
You cannot buy the sauce. So
exactly.
Any young people listening out there that are aspiring artists, Calvin Moon just said it. You got to be yourself. You got to look within. You got to be creative. Tap into that creativity. Yeah. Don't be scared. Don't let anything stop you. Financial situations or your life outcome or whatever. Because the more work you put into it is what you will get out of it. And I've seen that, definitely seen that with you. I've known you for the past 3 years, and I've seen you when you hardly had dreads, you know, and then now they're
my
growing.
little
And
doo-doo plots in the beginning of the year. God.
So, you know, yeah, man, I seen you doing a lot of improvements. You know, we got to get to know a little bit of backstory on you. You got to hear about what you're doing now. You got to hear about your future goals. You gave some advice for the youth. Now, like, any last comments, any last shout outs, any last advice for people, any last words that you have for us?
Absolutely. I'm joking. Any last advice? I mean,
not really advice, but any shout outs, any people that you want to big up right now. And
shout outs. Damn, bro. I need to bring a list.
For sure.
There's so much people. Well, shout out the essentials. You know, shout out Z Knights. Shout Z Knights, aka 6Z, aka Henry. Shout out Kian. Shout out Jetlag. Shout out Ali. Shout out Joy with his blank canvas and also his clothing brand. Shout out that whole side of Toronto. Shout out the people that helped me to even believe in like that I could rap and stuff like that. So shout out Skew aka Shane. Shout out Drip Kid Dre. Without you, I would be paying millions of dollars for a producer that is like don't even pay attention to my actual goals and ideas. So shout out Drip Kid Dre for even having the tolerance to bear my crazy ideas and make it into something. So shout out Drip Kid Dre. Shout out the real MVP, aka Nathan, who he's super cool. My friend that I grew up with. We do music together. He's also my ride for a lot of my shows. So shout out him there. Shout out Humans TV. Shout out Malik McKenzie.
Big up.
Shout out Dwight Moody. Shout out Devin. Shout out the whole Humans TV gang. Without y'all, I don't know, this stuff wouldn't be that fun. So shout out all the Humans TV gang. Shout out Ryan Chu. He's a great background photographer that I use for a lot of my BTS footage. He's a great guy. We've got something working on that. Shout out Germs in the cut. Without you on stage, it would just not feel right. And you just brought that energy. Shout out, you know, Germs. You know, he did his thing. We went crazy at Afro Man. You know, all that wild stuff. Shout out Samir Smile Zone. My bro, my big bro, my brother, homie. Actually, big bro. I'm his big bro. Shout out my son, Samir Smile Zone. Who else? Shout out Zaki. He's with Samir. Yeah, I'm done. So those are my shout outs, and I have to say anything for anybody that's listening to this and that have the opportunity to do anything in life. I just say you gotta friggin' take it at this point, because literally every day has its own set of challenges, but it also has its own set of opportunities. So never ever take that for granted, because sure, you can pick up the mic one day and actually make a song, but like who knows if you'll have the energy from the first time that you had the idea, you know. So things like ideas, you always gotta put them out there, and if like you gotta check why you're not doing it. If you're not doing it because of what other people are thinking and what others say, then you got your head all messed up. You gotta do it for what, like, you and you purposes only, and then that will propel you to heights that you can't even imagine. Always surprise yourself, you know. So always just push yourself till you have nothing left. But yeah, because there's a lot of nothing in this world, and that can put you in a state of like, I'm in autopilot. But yeah, shout out people who go out there and do what they want to do because they love it, you know. Do what you want to do, what's not, and instead of what's expected of you. All right.
Yeah, that's some real words right there.
Real words by Calvin Moon.
Yeah, so you have it there.
Yeah.
That's a wrap right now.
Yeah.
I know we covered a lot of topics right there.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a pleasure to sit down with you.
Yeah.
I hope to sit down again with you in the future in a couple of years. When you're a big star, maybe you could still have some time. I don't know.
We'll still have some time, like you're not gonna be there right next to me, dog.
Hey man, you never know, right?
You never know what.
Hey, you never know. This guy might be in Europe or something, you know what I mean? Well, yeah. Shout out to everybody that's watching this. Shout out Calvin Moon. He's done a great job today on the podcast here. You know, my name's Jeremy Persaud, reporting live from Centennial College. And I hope to keep doing stuff like this in the future. You know, it's a good vibe. I feel like I fit the hosting look pretty well. You know, I'm single too, by the way. Any ladies watching, you know, feel free to holler at me, you know. And yeah, that's a wrap for our show today. Thanks, Chintan, Jaden, Alessio on the cameras. You know what I mean? We're out here. And Calvin, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Cut.